some homework help. I wanted you guys to do pages 30 and 31, only 30 and 31, nothing else. So this is page 30 here, and then this is page 31. And just to be perfectly clear, don't do the back page of 31, because that'd be 32. All right, that's page 32. Just do 30 and 31, the ones that I'm going to show you here, and then we'll look at the other ones tomorrow. Anyways, we've already started this, and I think I may have done this with one class and not the other. I don't really remember. But anyways, I just wanted you to finish filling this out here. It says, analyze the chart. What do you notice that can help you complete the chart? What do I need to do to solve the problem? I can use the structure of the decimal place system to complete the chart. You certainly can. And you can look at this top row here and see what would go. So these are changing by 1/100ths. So this is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. This would be 0.04, 0.05, and so forth. And then right here, this is 0.11. So this would be what do you think? 12, 0.13. So what's changing here is the hundredths place. And it's increasing by 1 as we go. Now what if we were to go down this way here? This is the tenths place, okay? And if this is 0.19, this is just simply going to be 0.2. If this is 0.29, if we increased it by 1/100th, this would be 0.3, and this would be 0.4. So you guys should be able to complete that without too much of a problem here. And again, we talked about some of this in class. Do the bottom one also. And it says, write the missing numbers. So go ahead and finish filling that out. This is just like what we've done up above here. And then it says, explain how you can use structure to find the last number in the bottom row. Well, assuming you've filled this out, and I actually just did it just above. If this is 0.19, and if we increase that by 100th, it's going to be 0.2. Increase this by 100th, it's going to be 0.3 and 0.4. And so how do you find the last number in the bottom row? This is what they're talking about right here, 0.4. And you really didn't even have to fill out the rest of these. How could you phrase that in your own words? That each one of these going down this way increases by 1/10. This is 0.1, this is 0.2. So put that in your own words. Going down. Going down. Each number increases by 1/10. And the last box is 0.4, or that's 4/10. Okay? All right, let's see here. Guided practice. This is page 31. It says each of these grids is part of a decimal number chart, similar to the one on page 30. And it says describe the pattern for moving from a pink square to a green square. Well, you guys should recognize the pattern here. If we were to fill this one out, what do you think it would be? Well, this would be 0.56. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see this a little better. And, well, that would make sense. So this is 0.66. Well, what do you think would go right here then? 0.76. There's 0.86. What would go right here? 0.96. All right? So what would go here? In here? 0.65, 0.75, 0.85. So with that in mind, I'll let you guys do that one on your own. And it says, how can you use patterns to find the number that would be in the box below the 0.52? So they're asking, in this question, the box below 0.52, they're asking about this one. All right. So using patterns again. So what's the pattern here? If this is 0.32 and this is 0.52, what do you think would go right here? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, 0.42. So they're increasing by what? What place, this is important that you guys know these, what place is the 3? What place is the 4, the 5, whatever would go here? What place is the 7? That's the 10th place, so they're increasing by 1/10. All right? So again, you could just write going down. Increases. Each square by 1/10. Okay, that's how you would find out what goes below 0.52. So go ahead and do that one. And here's the teacher question. I'm just going to throw this in the middle of the lesson here. So if I showed you guys this grid, and knowing what you know, assuming each square changes by 1/10, what would be the rest of these? Assuming they're going up from left to right and then going down, going by what we filled out already today and then in the previous page here. What do you think would be in the rest of these squares here? So I'll pull sticks and we'll see who gets this. And so this would be, and I'll ask you guys to answer this from, this is going to be square 1, this is square 2, 3. We'll call this one 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. So there'll be 8 squares. I want to know what goes in there. All right? And we'll make this worth 50 points. All right? Okay, so back to the lesson here. Independent practice. So just the bottom of the page here, I want you guys to do, and then we'll be done. It says Pamela is hiking, and when she returns to camp, she passes the mile markers shown at the right. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. So there's the mile markers. So 2 and a 7th mile, 2 and a 6th mile, 2 and a 5th, I'm sorry, 2.5, and, or 2 and 5/10 of a mile, I should say. 2 and 2.4, 2.3, all right? It says, how can you use structure to find the decimal numbers that will be shown for the next 4 mile markers? So she's returning to camp. So I'm not really sure if she'd be going this way or going the other direction. They don't really say. Let's say she's going this way. And she's hiking along. Okay. There's her long hair. She's got a backpack on. All right. And so she's getting closer to camp. Camp would be 0.0. All right. So it says, explain how you can use structure to find the decimal numbers that will be shown in the next 4 mile markers. So what do you think the next marker would be? So I'm going to do 4 markers here. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And here's 4. So fill those out. Okay. And this one right here was 0.23. 0.3 rather. 2.3. So what would be the next one? All right, well, I'll give that to you. 2.2. And you fill out the rest of those. So, and you'll have to give this one some thought. All right. Number 4, Pamela stops at the 1.8 mile marker. Where will she be if she walks 1/10 of a mile toward camp? Question mark. 1 mile towards camp. Explain. Oh, okay. So she stops at 1.8. So I'm going to write down 1.8. And where is the 10th place? This is the 10th place, or 1/10. Okay? And it says, where will she be if she walks 1/10 of a mile towards camp? So we're assuming she's closing the distance. So what's less by 1/10 of 1.8? What would go here in this box? So what's less by 1/10? Well, it'd be 1.7. Okay. And then it says, if she walks, it should be a capital O, 1 mile towards camp. Not 1/10, but now she walks 1 mile towards camp. So she goes a whole lot further. Okay? And again, this question doesn't make it very clear. Is it 1 mile further from 1.8 or 1.7? So this is kind of frustrating when they do this kind of thing. They're not very clear. Let's assume it's 1 mile further from 1.7. So 1 more mile. So how far would she be from camp now? Well, just take away the 1. How far would she be? She would be 7/10 from camp. So a little less than a mile to go. She'd be almost all the way back. All right. All right, so those are the only 2 pages I want you to do. And we'll work on 32 and 33 in class tomorrow. So we'll see how you guys do. And don't forget the teacher question. That's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.